for this week for the New Zealand? I know they've got a centre on the
We're going live. We are live. West Tigers fans, we are going to celebrate another win. How good. We got the win up there against the Dolphins. We're coming to you live from the Orange Grove Hotel. Here's another episode of the West Tigers Life Podcast. Another episode of the West Tigers Life Podcast coming to you again live from the Orange Grove Hotel. Your favorite West Tigers Life Podcast hosts, fresh off being here at the Orange Grove Hotel as we cheered like absolute idiots as the Dolphins went down to the Tigers, come from behind win, which we will review tonight as well, preview the game against the Warriors on Sunday night at Campbelltown Stadium. Hopefully we're sounding a little bit better. So we had the sound issues last week, brand new microphones, some help from shouts to Scotty on the Patreon, doing a bit of a sound check from afar from us. So let us know in the chat, how are we sounding? Do we sound a bit crisper this week? So good to get into another episode. Please give us a follow on the socials. So this week, I want to make the aim for this year for all our outlets to get 2,005 followers. So I think we're on about 1,400 on YouTube. So West Tigers Life on YouTube. Shouts to all our legends coming in live, watching on the YouTube stream. Please like, subscribe, comment away, guys, on there. If you're listening back on audio, please go to YouTube and subscribe. At West Tigers Life on TikTok. The TikTok's going off. I can't believe it's the algorithm caught fire with our clip of Adele, the Adele episode the other night. It's got thousands of hits on that one. So give us a follow on the TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're in like the 1,500s for those. TikTok's only new, so it's only about 400 or something, but that's flying at the moment. So we want to get up to 2,005 by the end of the season because it's kind of starting to feel a bit like 2005. What do you reckon, Mr. Bashara, as I bring you in?
G'day, boys. G'day, everyone in podcast land. Thanks to Connor for joining us live tonight, giving us our massive one studio audience. Mate, it's not 2005 yet, but it's certainly really encouraging signs. I think from the first trial this year, the energy and the effort has been consistent from start to finish of every game, regardless of the playing style. We're slowly building. Our attack is still a work in progress. And when you consider that we scored 30 points on the weekend, 32 points the week before, and the attack isn't 100% right yet, there's plenty of encouraging signs. I'll repeat it again. I just love the fact that we're playing 1 to 80 minutes, no matter what the score is, as hard as we can. I can't emphasise enough the influence of Jerome Luai, amongst other people. Obviously, he's brought a lot on and off the field. And it seems to me in the football department, at least, the culture is building very well. And it's just a good place to be. And I think now whether we win games or we lose games, we're going to expect to be competitive for the 80 minutes. And we know our boys aren't going to drop their heads. Last Saturday night could have easily turned into an ugly scoreline. And not only did we come back and win, we could have killed them. Like we really put the sword to them and broke their hearts. So very encouraging. And we've got plenty to talk about tonight.
And Mr. Thompson, welcome to another episode. You joined us here for the first time. Rob and I watched what game did we watch previously here? You and I, we watched us beat
We watched someone. I can't remember.
The Eels. No, because that's right.
It was the Eels, that's right.
Yeah, we watched the game against the Eels.
Well, only won 2 games. It had to be the other one.
It's literally the other win of the West Tigers. Yeah. So that was your first time watching a game live at the Orange Grove Hotel with us lunatics, and shouts to our legends that joined us. How good was that? You couldn't have picked a better debut at the Orange Grove Hotel.
Yeah, g'day Rob, g'day Josh. Yeah, it was an experience. I'll put it that way. It was quite an interesting time. Chaotic, I would say, is probably the word I'd use to describe it. We obviously had Brandon, we had Shane here. They were providing some energy off the back fence as well as the players in the team. Yeah, it was quite the experience, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And may have sworn a little bit too much in retrospect, but oh well.
Righto, let's get into it as I bring up my slides. Right, so when was it? Saturday
4:30 Queensland time, 5:30 our time.
We broke the Dolphins' hearts. Oh, before we get into that, of course, we're going to plug our friends at iChoice. Where can we find iChoice, Mr. Bashara?
We can find them on the corner of Liverpool Road and the Boulevard at Strathfield. Give Jason and his team a call, 9743 0000. And I say it every week, free of charge, won't cost you anything from start to finish. So give him a call. If you want to save money, Jason's the person to speak to.
Yep, the budget was handed down last night. I don't know what any of it means, but
I was spending all day today trying to work out what I was going to do with the 70 cents per day that I'm going to save. And I was actually trying to calculate how many people are going to be happy about the fact they're going to be getting 70 cents a day in their pocket. I wonder if that'll get voters to vote the same people in again. But anyway, we won't go down that track.
Good on you, Frydenberg. Frydenberg, isn't it?
I don't know.
Josh Frydenberg?
I got no idea.
Righto, getting on to it's another week, another Lachlan Galvin contract talks continue to happen a little bit because again, one player in Daly Cherry Evans decides to announce that he's going to move clubs, and all of a sudden, that of course, every time there's a player movement in the NRL now, Lockie Galvin's name comes up, but we'll do it quickly because we talk about this every week. I'm sick of talking about it. I wish we could put pen to paper and extend this kid for 20 more years if we could. But Rob, what's the latest thoughts on this whole situation?
My own opinion has not changed one bit. If we're competitive, if we're in the competition up to our ear balls and, on the fringe of the 8 and playing well and improving and everyone's happy, I think it looks after itself. If we're down the bottom of the ladder, like if we were 0-3, I'd be worried. We're 2-1, we're going well. I don't think maybe Canterbury are interested in Daly Cherry Evans, but don't want to talk too much about Evans, but I would think that he's already made somewhere else for him to come out and categorically say that he's not going to be with Manly next year. You wouldn't say that unless you've got an agreement somewhere else. From what I know about Canterbury, they wouldn't have known he was available a week and a half ago because they're super keen on Lockie. So maybe they are interested now, but it might be too late. Look, it would be a good signing for Canterbury to get Evans, but I see him either going to the Roosters or even the Titans. I don't understand why he'd go to the Dolphins unless the Dolphins are planning to put Katoa at 5'8". Katoa was amazing against us on the weekend. Such a young talent. Look, that's not our problem. Our problem is just worrying about ourselves. I don't want anything to affect our football. And the best thing is, since all this crap reared its head about where's Lockie going to be, we've won 2 games in a row. So Lockie's put it aside. Lockie's playing some of the best football. We'll get on to our 3-2-1s later, but he was my man of the match, and we'll talk about that a bit later. So it's not affecting him. It's not affecting the team. And I think we should just be concentrating on the footy, and all that off-field stuff will sort itself out.
Right, off the field, a few more NRLW signings. Mr. Thompson, who are the girls added to their squad the past week?
So last week we added 3 more players to our squad for the NRLW. First up is Faith Manera, who's a rugby union convert, or going to be an attempted rugby union convert. She'll join the club after the women's Super Rugby season ends. She's also been in the Australian Rugby Sevens team and made her debut for Australia in 2022. Next up is Lily Rogan.
Was she at the Olympics? Sorry, was she at the last Olympics when the girls lost on the buzzer to? Was it America? I think it was America we lost to, wasn't it? It was literally on the buzzer.
I don't have any
to
information
make
on
the gold
that.
medal?
Okay.
Okay.
That might be something I could look up,
Not big
but
on your sevens rugby.
Yeah, I haven't
You're a rugby
really paid
league.
attention to rugby union.
When it comes to the Olympics,
like
I
that.
watch I get excited over like the kayaking with Jess Fox. Literally every sport that I do not give a shit about every 4 years, I'll watch. I stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning to watch like cycling because Australia's going to win gold. I'm like, I don't know why, but like every Olympics, I just go nuts for it. So.
Yeah, I'll try to pay attention to as many of the Olympic events as I can. I'm not super invested in a lot of them, of course, but if there are Aussies involved, I do like to check those out. Like I enjoyed the Aussie kids basically in the men's and women's skateboarding comps because we got a couple of golds in that. That was a bit of fun to watch, and
the breakdancing.
I didn't watch that. Thank God, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
You know, there have been 4 Olympic Games since we last made the finals, don't you?
Do you have to remind us about that?
8, 12,
gonna change
16,
soon.
20, 24. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
12, 16, 20, 24.
8 as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got 8. Beijing.
No, we made the finals. We made the finals in 10 and 11.
I was thinking 2005.
You're not talking grand final.
No, I'm not
Okay.
talking grand finals. Jeez.
But yeah.
Steps, boys, steps.
Yeah.
One at a time.
Beijing, Rio. What was after Rio?
Oh, you got
London.
London was before. London was the first one. That was 12.
All right. Back to rugby league. Sorry, I brought it up.
Second signing is Lily Rogan, a young centre who's just 21 years old. She captained the Illawarra Steelers.
And in relation to
I
Joe.
knew that was coming. I knew that was
I
coming.
fully expected that as well. Josh likes to interrupt me. So she captained the Illawarra Steelers to their premiership in last year's Harvey Norman New South Wales women's competition. So what is now the reserve grade for the NRLW. And she also made her NRLW debut in 2023 for the Roosters and hasn't had much of an opportunity since then. And then thirdly is, I'm just trying to find the name. Sorry, Caitlin Turnbull, who was a 23-year-old outside back who captained the Wentworthville Magpies in the 2024 Harvey Norman Women's Premiership. And they went undefeated for quite some time last year, if I remember correctly, at the start of their season.
Any relation to Malcolm? That's more plausible. He's Australian.
You're asking me all the questions I have absolutely no information on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how these girls go.
Classic kayak.
Not a lot of NRLW experience between them, so it will be interesting to see how they go.
All right. Righto. Moving on to. Oh, yes, just a bit of a plug for our episode with Adele. If you haven't heard it yet, I assume most listening to this show would have heard our chat with Adele on Sunday night, breaking down. Yeah, thank you to all the people that have commented how much they're enjoying those chats, Rob. I basically sit there, and if you don't like me talking, you'll love this show because I just sit there in awe listening to Adele most of the time break down the game. Super smart mind that he is. How good are these chats, Rob?
Yeah, they're amazing. He gives an insight that you never get bored with, breaks the game down wonderfully well, and from a coach's perspective, and talks in that coach's language that most aren't familiar with. So we're all kind of getting a really good education into looking at the game a little bit differently and a little bit from a coach's perspective, which I think in Adele's case is a very patient perspective, whether we're winning or losing. But yeah, he sees a lot of positives in things that sometimes we see the negatives in, but always a good chat. And for our third week to be getting the numbers we're getting is really spectacular. So thanks again to Adele for doing it. Yeah, really happy with it. And I think it's going to be top of the charts in a couple of weeks once everyone hears about him.
Do yourself a favour. Right, let's talk about the win over the Dolphins, 30-18. Come back from behind, win, and I do have our tries. While I get the tries up, boys, obviously the Dolphins went up 12-0.
No.
So, 12-0?
6-0.
6-0, then
6-0,
6-all, 16, 12-6, 16-6, 18-6,
Okay.
18-12.
So the first try, when they went up 6-0 down the edges, it kind of felt like, what were you thinking at that stage? Because it did seem eerily like...
It was a little bit disheartening. It happened in the 4th minute. Our defence looked pretty shoddy around the ruck. Jeremy Marshall-King had made a really good dart from dummy half. Our defence was scattered, and a lot like our first try against Parramatta last week, where Luai got the ball one off the ruck and looked one way and passed the other way. Katoa did the same thing. He looked to his right, did a beautiful cutout ball to his left, hands out to Bostock, who went over untouched, and we were down 4-0, and Osako nailed the kick right over the black dot to make it 6-0 after 5 minutes.
But luckily, the boys hit back and did this.
Tigers closing in. Koroisau to Luai. Luai showing and giving it the ball. On it goes. Taruva is over.
To the right side, and Luai, that's the play there that halts the Dolphins' defence, and it's catch and pass, and Taruva finishes off in the corner.
Imposing.
Yeah, so Taruva bagging another try after he's had he last week. This guy is just an amazing finisher. Obviously, not the only try this game, and probably not his best finish in this game. Pretty simple one for him by his standard. But how good is Taruva going?
Yeah, he's going great. Both of our wingers, I think, are going pretty exceptional so far, and it's nice that we've got those players who can finish those tries in the corners and get through those narrow gaps, get the ball down in situations where we just haven't really had that ability in the past. And I think it's really promising signs that even though it's early days for him at the club, he's played 3 games, he scored a total of 5 tries in 2 of those games because the first one he hardly got to touch the ball. So, yeah, really, really good signs. Really good try, really good cutout by Luai as well. One of his best plays of the game too.
What are your thoughts on that try, Rob?
Well, don't want to repeat everything Adele says from Sunday night, so I hope everyone does listen to it. But that started with Lockie Galvin poking his head through a gap on the tackle before that. And I thought the work, I know some people have said the work of Luai reminded him a lot of Scott Prince. I actually thought it was very Appy Koroisau-like in the way that he sort of, did the Harlem Globetrotter sort of shuffle and showing the ball every which way but loose and going to the right side. And like Aaron mentioned, the fact that Taruva scored 5 tries in 2 weeks last year and the year before, even though we came last, we seem to be very left-hand centric, especially like with, Galvin to, Samuel Afenu or whether it was Caesar to Fainu. We always use that left-hand side a lot going to Lockie. And this year it seems like we're actually more right-hand centric. It seems like our right side is the lethal side to play. So very exciting to hit back straight away. We needed to hit back straight away because they had dominated the first few minutes. And we thought, righto, we're back in the game. It should be a little bit of a tussle. But unbeknownst to us, the Dolphins were going to get away in the next few minutes again.
Well, walk us through those 2 Dolphins tries, if you've...
Yeah, so in the 18th minute, we had Herbie Farnworth score a try, which came a beautiful ball from Katoa to Daniel Saifidi, who went straight up the middle. I thought the pass might have been forward, but some better judges than me seemed to think it was a good ball. And then he passed it back inside on his left to Farnworth, who went under the post untouched. They kicked the goal from there. And then shortly after that, they really did catch us on our left-hand side. And they scored a great try to Nicarima, who I still think that was a double movement. I'm very sure Luai tackled him, brought him to the ground, the arm carrying the ball, hit the ground, and then he lifted himself up off the ground and lunged over the line. So I'm not sure that was a try. Anyway, it was awarded. They kicked the goal. Oh, sorry, they don't kick the goal. They missed the goal. That's 16-6. And then in the 31st minute, they get a penalty to make it 18-6. And then I guess you're going to go on to our young superstar backup hooker in Talon De Silva, who scores a try in the 36th
Black all
minute.
over him. Last. De Silva goes for it and gets there. Talon De Silva has scored the try.
And the space opened up just behind the ruck of the Dolphins, and he pushes through and gets the ball down. That's a terrific effort there.
Yeah, you mentioned before, Rob, you don't want to repeat what Adele says, but he does say so much good stuff. And he did mention that as TDS is apparently coming through all the grades, he was an absolute gun at basically doing this on the last tackle. But it's not the first time I don't think we've seen TDS do this in first grade, but he really made it look pretty easy in the end.
Yeah, he really did. I do want to add as well, I think a lot of the work to do with that try being scored comes from the 2 runs on the 2 plays before it from both Fadil Pole.
Jack Bird.
Oh, Jack Bird was the first one, and then Terrell May was the second.
I think it was the other way around. Yeah, other way around. Yeah, so Jack Bird took the tackle before that, and I think we mentioned if Royce Hunt had pushed up next to him, Royce Hunt might have got the try because Bird had the arms free.
I was the only one drinking beers on Saturday, so I had no idea what you're talking about.
I do remember listening to that in the chat with Adele, but and I think this try, more so than the ones in the second half, one of the biggest reasons we won this game was because of this try. So I think a lot of credit has to go to Talon for obviously having the guts to do it on the last and managing to score it, because there's been a few times where he's tried to do that late in the tackle count, close to the line, and hasn't quite gotten over. And obviously the fans get a little bit upset when that happens because it's considered to be a really bad last tackle play, but obviously it gets scored and all of a sudden it's a really good last tackle play. But yeah, I think a lot of the work we did in the second half and the fact that we went into halftime only 6 down as opposed to 12 down gave the team a lot more confidence going into the rest of the game. But I really enjoyed Talon's game. I thought he was quite good in his stint. Obviously, you've got a quality number one hooker in Appy, and then it's really good to know you've got a replacement who's more than capable of doing a job and filling a role and even adding a little bit of his own spark to the game. I think we had sort of similar back in the days of the Robbie Farah, Jacob Little combination.
Yep.
I do see a little bit of Jacob Little in TDS's game as well. So you can tell the hookers they've had at the club to learn from.
Yeah, I would say TDS might be
a lot classier
and a bit more athletic, I think.
Yeah,
Lids was a burst of speed.
Yeah, we saw that in his game against the Dogs in round 1, that he's got that. Yeah. He's still got that burst of speed, but he really lost that after all of the injuries he had, like shoulder injuries, lower leg injuries. He would just cruel his time at the club. But what we're seeing in Talon, I think, is that, but with a lot more ability because he hasn't had those injuries, and he's still very fresh as well.
And it was huge too. Got in the halftime, 1 try down.
Yeah.
Shouts to Shane, who was here with it, and he's like, "We're in this. We're in the whole time." As soon as we got,
any objective person would say we probably didn't deserve to be down 18-12. Like, we should have been down by a lot more. And to dodge that try in halftime when Bostock dropped a bomb with about 30 or 40 seconds left, that was a huge moment as well. So we definitely in the game, and then we had a real good arm wrestle for about 23 minutes in the second half.
And then this happened.
Samuelafainu going to ground. Bird is the 16. Luai now for Koroisau. Koroisau to Galvin. The floating pass. They've got numbers. Toller, early ball. Taruva got it down. Taruva is in.
Their key men involved. Koroisau holds the defence up. That's a magic pass over the top from Lockie Galvin, and Taruva, he just knows how to score tries. What a great finish.
Yeah, this one really showed the amount of class we have in our back line now between Galvin, the $1.2 million pass that you called it, Roll.
Yeah, and not to underestimate the work from Appy Koroisau as well, because he gets the ball before Lockie Galvin and he does a wonderful job of straightening up the attack, which just holds those defenders up and allows Lockie to have a bit more time to assess the situation and do a beautiful cutout pass to Stafford Toa, who then puts Taruva over. And it looked like Taruva might have dropped that ball for a bit, but he held onto it for dear life, and we all had our hearts in our mouths as he was going down, put the ball down,
cradled like
cradle it down and put it down. He got it down, and Adam banked the kick off the left-hand goalpost as we were looking at the kick, and it was 18-all.
Anything to add on that one, Az, before we go to try number 4?
Not really. I just hell of a pass from Lockie Galvin, like those Harbour Bridge ones where you can cut out 2 or 3 defenders and really isolate your winger for them to cross the line. And yeah, I think we got a little bit lucky that he was able to get it down, but he kind of got a little bit of a helping hand from the Dolphins, who I think gave him a little bit of a friendly shove from behind. And just real quickly, this isn't stats, man, but it's in that ballpark. Our highest try scorer last year was Charlie Staines, who had 9.
And Taruva's got 5 already.
Yeah, in just 3 games.
Yeah, right.
So he's 3 games into a 24-game season, and he's already over halfway.
Which goes to the point that we're using our right-hand attack a lot more and using it productively. Well, at least in the last 2 games, they never saw anything in game 1. round one, I should say.
Well, Appy came back and Buller both came back and really straightened up our attack and made us a lot more multidimensional.
Yep.
Righto. Then in the
This is Big Red's moment. Riff Raff.
shouts to Riff.
He's in the chat too.
I'm not singing Riff
He's
Raff.
been trying to get your attention for a little bit, Rob.
I will not be singing.
Get the vape out, Riff. You'll enjoy it.
Again, they go the shots on crash play. Safer got over, and he's claiming
He's
it.
gone, Dan.
Tigers in front. Tigers have hit the front.
Shapes the kick. A little bit of goal there from him, and over goes the ball, Dan. That's a try.
Yeah, Appy again. This won't be it's not the first, not the last compliment for Appy Koroisau in this game. Just beautiful shape to put safe up over there, Rob.
Yep, shapes the kick, and then obviously the Dolphins defence think that Appy's going to go out the back to Lockie, and then he gives the short ball to Alex Seyfarth, and it was an unbelievable play, and full credit to Alex Seyfarth. I did not think he was capable of running a crash play and scoring through 3 men. So well done. That gave us a 22-18 lead. Adam kicked the goal, and suddenly we're thinking about, wow, we can win this thing.
Just on that, it reminded me a lot of the try that Stefano scored in round 6 against the Dragons at Campbelltown last year. Very similar crash play with a very similar pass from Appy out of dummy half. Just his creativity and craftiness catches so many defenses napping, confuses them, bamboozles them, and just, I mean, Riff Raff and probably a lot of others will be pretty happy to see a lot more of those throughout the year, won't they?
Oh, certainly.
I'd like to see Twal get one that way. That'd do me.
Just to make Riff Raff happy, I don't know if that was... It was almost... Was it Ola Kawadu? Was it Liam Martin? Was it Elise Katoa? No, it was Alex Seyfarth. Like... obviously trying to work on it, aren't they?
Can you hear us now, chat? Are we back?
No, it's not back. Look, you can see it's just stalling up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I think we're just slow. As long as it sounds all right. I'm back.
We're back.
We're back. All right, we're back. I actually had to.
Connor, maybe not go somewhere further away to see if you can still hear us as opposed
Hold
to
it, move the
hearing us
aerial
from here.
for us.
No, I don't know.
Connor.
I just want to know if it's working or not.
All right, we're back. We're back.
Okay, let's
We're
do it.
We're back.
All right, so what are we up to? The last try?
Yes, literally with the up to the cream of the game, and he's going to do that to us. But I think we're sweet now.
And it's the internet in the area, by the way. It's not us.
The whole area, is it?
I think so. Like
Yeah.
the whole pub was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the moment we're all waiting for. The last try of the game, if I can find it. Try number 5 from Appy Koroisau.
Well, Luai was back. Koroisau goes himself, goes for the line and scores the game-clinching try.
He's in shape. Bang! Away you go. You know how smart that is from Appy Koroisau, because Tabuai Fado was in the tackle at mark. He spotted that. He knew there was no fallback. He just had to get through the first line.
Again, Appy Koroisau. I'll let you lead off on this one. We went off like absolute lunatics here on the stream that blew up the mics. But yeah, what a moment in. Yeah, I mean, he had he beat the Dolphins. I only just thought of that then. The sideline conversion 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2
Yeah,
years ago. Well, sideline penalty goal actually.
was it a penalty goal? Yeah.
From kickoff.
But first try score. It was. I'm assuming it's Philip Pole. Of course, you remember that. Anyway, back to Appy Koroisau. Yeah, what a moment! That will go down as one of the great West Tigers moments.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just more Appy magic. He was shaping to get the pass out to, I think it was Luai, who was standing there prepared to attempt the field goal, and had all of the Dolphins ready to go for the kick chase to try and block it. But he sees the gap, scoots through, and runs away to score the try. It's just magic that he's able to produce on the field is nothing short of extraordinary.
Yeah, Rob.
Oh, what more can we say? That we went through it again on Sunday night, but to do it on the third tackle gave us a chance that if something went wrong, we still had time to set up for the field goal. I was always concerned if we did miss a field goal that we're going to give the Dolphins 7 tackles to go down the field, and they had the wind behind them, so it would have been a bit risky to do that. And as I've told everyone on my contact list, or not told, I've sent everyone a video of me predicting this 5 minutes before it happened, and they've all got to see it, and they're all giving me grief about it because I'm a show off. But we did call it, and I was very happy about it. And it was just a great way to ice the game. And look, it would have been pretty tough to get back to 30 all with 3.5 minutes to go. But Appy was a genius. And then, the icing on the cake with that try too, to beat Tom Gilbert, especially given Tom Gilbert had been giving us a lot of lip all game, that was kind of nice. And again, just to see Appy so extrovert after he scored the try, that's normally not his demeanor when he scores a try. He's like head down, very humble, but he was giving it to the crowd, telling him to shush, and got the claw out.
I think that was more to Tom Gilbert telling him to shush.
It was, but it was just
A
nice to
little bit of
see.
both.
Nice to see him really revved up and pumped up. To know that he did. He hadn't
That's what
had
it meant to him.
he hadn't had a great game till that last sort of 25 minutes. So it was really good to see him imposing his will on the game and finish the game off with authority.
Anything else to add on that game before we leave it in the realms of history?
No, nothing other than the players. Did you want to run through some stats, or are we good with that?
Yeah, go for it.
Just quickly. We completed at 86%, 36 out of 42 sets. The Dolphins were at 78%, which was 31 out of 40 sets. We ran for 1,824 meters. The Dolphins for 1,499. We won the offloads 12-7. The line break 6-3. Meters made in attack No, this is wrong. This is a kick. We'll leave that alone. Penalties, Dolphins 9-7. They got 3-6 against. We got 4. So they're pretty much the main stats.
Stats man.
Back up stats man.
on a sheet of paper with pen.
Mate, that's
old school.
That's how the old school do it.
Fancy schmancy laptop.
Righto, a couple of press conference clips here from Benji and Appy. What was your thoughts on Benji's performance in this one, Rob?
Look, I'm going to say I loved it, obviously, because we won. If you want to be hypercritical, I thought some of the interchange timing was a bit weird, but it's very easy for us to say without knowing the situation with the players, with injuries, with fatigue, what was being relayed, from Hodjo to the bench. That's always just guesswork, but look, it worked. We won. That's the main thing. What I did like, and I don't know what the reason for it was, I loved the fact that, we're losing at halftime and Benji comes out and watches the game on the bench for the second half. And I think having Benji there, I'd like to think that inspired the players even a little bit more, just like sort of feeling like he was there with them. I don't know if that's going to be a regular occurrence, but if losing by any chance on Sunday, I hope he comes down at halftime and parks his ass on the sideline. But
Tim Sheen's always said it.
I don't remember, to be honest. But
I remember Sheensy on the sideline in the grand final.
But the one thing we always said with Benji, even 2 or 3 years ago, we're only going to improve as quickly as he's improving, but he's really made a point of trying to set this club up from the bottom up in terms of the football department, the culture. You can see everyone's having fun, everyone's playing for each other. It must be a good vibe. Like, I'm not there, but it just translates.
Why wouldn't you
I keep saying we can only judge them by what they do on the field, and everything I see on the field is enthusiasm, it's enjoyment, it's effort, it's never giving up. It's a lot like that stuff we saw on the promoted videos they showed of strive and thrive, and that's what we did Saturday afternoon. We strive for the win, and we're thriving now with 2 wins out of 3.
Well, that sets up the good segue to the first clip of Benji in the press conference.
I love the team that we have, like in terms of the people, like the way they act off the field, and then you add that up to what they do on the field. I'm really happy with the way they're going. To just keep fighting is the main thing. And as a coach, that's what we wanted to do, is fight to the death. And I thought defensively in the second half, that was as good as we've ever been.
Yeah, Terrell May's video kind of reiterated what Benji said there about just, and what you just said too, Rob, in terms of the vibe of this team. Like, the boys are they're all new. I mean, like, obviously a lot of them came from Penrith, so they knew each other already, but Lockie Galvin was there. They're enjoying burgers with each other, and just, I don't know, it just seems like it's only 3 rounds in, and like you said, it just seems like these guys really are enjoying being teammates with each other. And just, obviously winning makes that a lot easier, but even the guys that have been around for some pretty dire years, they must be loving it too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, the vibes amongst this team are sky high right now, and I think it's not just the winning; it's the fact that, like you said, we've had players who've come from those winning cultures, and it's not even just the Penrith boys that came across. Like, you look at all 6 of the signings we made and the clubs they came from. So we had obviously 2 come from Penrith, a 4-time premier and a 2-time premier. We also had Terrell May and Royce Hunt, who came from the 2 sides that lost in the prelims. We also had Gerald Skelton, whose Bulldogs made the finals for the first time in some time. And then you had Jack Bird, whose team just barely missed out on playing in the finals because of the Knights and Dolphins game didn't end in a draw. If it did end in a draw, then he would have been playing finals too. But so like, we've had all those players come from all these winning teams with winning cultures. They're bringing this to our club, and it's rubbing off on our players. Vibes are high. They're enjoying each other's company. They're enjoying spending time with each other. They're enjoying building those bonds and those connections, which are translating on the field as well. And it's really promising signs. Like, obviously it's still early days, but really promising signs.
Friend of the show, Kim's joined us. She's just joined, missed the start. Tremendous win. Kim, just so you know, the show tonight's been absolutely seamless. Nothing's gone wrong at all. New microphones, the new mix is working well, so you've missed nothing but 100% good stuff. So be sure to go back and be sure to go back and listen from the start after we finish tonight. Right, let's hear another one from Benji.
Yeah, we're a bit rusty, if I'm being honest, still. Still got a bit of work to do there. But, they combined off the back of effort plays tonight, not off anything fancy. Like, there was no real set plays, bar one that we practiced where Uppy scored that did the damage. It was like a good kick where we put pressure on in the corner, or Talon just running to score. Like, we still got a lot of work to do with our combinations. But, again, the defence in the second half held us in good stead because they had opportunities to come and take the game away from us.
Yeah, effort, Rob. That's the one thing, and you've said it a lot on air, off air. I don't know. We've chatted a lot of Tigers, so I can't remember when you said it, but this team, they got a long, as Benji said as well, a long way to go, but they're getting there on effort alone, and they're only.
They're playing off the back of that effort. They're playing off the back of that resilient defence. So there's not as much pressure on the attack. They don't have to force things with attack. If it's there to score, then we're scoring. It's the way to play. We don't want to be winning 40-38. Don't get me wrong, we'll take it. But the way we're winning now is so much different to, I feel, last year. I felt like we killed Cronulla. We haven't I don't think we're a team that's going to kill anyone as such, but we're just going about our business. We're working hard. We're playing the percentages, good kick chase. Just like the Parramatta game, there's always 2 or 3 people in every tackle. The one thing that was disconcerting was the first half defence. I really thought the Dolphins owned us up the middle. We just looked scattered. We never had 2 markers set. Ready to sort of put pressure on their first receiver. Katoa had all day. Nikorima seemed to have a lot of time. But that's the good thing about playing for 80 minutes. If you're not going well for 15 or 20 minutes, if you stay in the game, then you've got 40 minutes to turn around and make up that deficit and go on and win the game. And look, I'm not predicting anything. I said at the start of the year we should have a lot of hope and have zero expectation. Right now, my feelings have changed slightly. I've still got all the infinite hope in the world. I have got a little bit of expectation now. I've definitely got a lot of belief, but I still stand by some of the things I said. I still think depth is an issue, but I'm hoping, given how these 2 wins have been, especially this last win, which was so inspirational, I'm hoping the guys, that are from player 19 to 30 in our squad are getting inspired by this, and when they get that call up to first grade, they can go on with it and not let anyone down, because we can't afford a weak link, and we have not had one weak link in our 2 wins. You can't say player X was bad. All 17 players have done their part, whether they were superstars on the day or whether they were just getting through their work. No one's really had a game where they've missed 10 tackles or let in a couple of tries or dropped a couple of bombs when we've won. So it's just really promising signs, and there's so much we're going to be so much better for it as the year goes on, and it's just good to see them enjoying themselves. Good to see the fans having fun. Good to see even while we were watching the other day, just seeing a couple of the blokes in the background, cheering and hollering, and then the Tigers chant going up in the second half in Queensland. That's pretty special.
Campbelltown's going to be rocking on Sunday.
That's going to be so good.
That's a pretty good segue again.
Again, I just thought guys stepped in. Adam hasn't played on the wing ever since he probably at South. Did a real good job there for us. Birdie hasn't done much centre. Did a real good job there. So that's what it takes to be the team we want to be. But again, we've won 2, which is mad for our fans and for us. But at the same time, I feel like we've got a lot of work to do still.
Yeah, Benji there, as talking about the role guys kind of stepping in and shifting after Skelton went off, and Rob pretty much. You are Rob Pseudodamus. You kind of picked exactly. You kind of talked about this already, your last comment. But just guys stepping up that people don't normally expect them to. Guys that even West Tigers fans might have written off as not good enough.
Yeah, so I remember when we were watching the game on Saturday and we saw Skelton going off early, we all started kind of debating amongst ourselves what the shuffle would look like, who would go where.
Yep.
And then we all realised what had happened with Adam shifting out to the wing and Birdie coming into the centres, which obviously also brought Sione Fainu into the team, and he got a little bit more minutes than he had in the previous 2 games. And like even he did a job when he was on there. And I mean, they're all still making the effort plays. They're all still making the big plays. Like you just look at the hit from Samuel Fainu that dislodged the ball from Jack Bostock on their line when it was 18-18 and the game was there to be won. And like that's a massive effort play that the team have got around each other. Like they're celebrating the big moments together. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying what I'm seeing from this team and how they're gelling, how there's no complaining. They're manning up, they're stepping up and doing whatever job's required of them in whatever situation, even if that means a little bit of a team shuffle.
We'll go one last one. Benji talking about Mr. Galvin.
Yeah, he was outstanding again. And that's the thing. I spoke to Lockie before the game. His favourite day of the week is game day. He finds the energy on game day, and if you check the GPS, he's always the most involved, does the most kilometres. He wants the ball. He's everywhere, sometimes to his detriment, but we encourage him to play footy and play the way he plays. And there was a moment there where I think he threw that tunnel ball out to our right, and Taruva scored. That was off the back of his good play. So we like what he's doing. And again, in those situations, your footy just does the talking, and the rest gets taken care of.
Any thoughts on that one, Rob?
As president of the Lockie Galvin fan club, it's just a pleasure and a privilege to watch him play every week.
Hang on, have you got that in the Discord?
What's that?
A Lockie Galvin.
Honestly, everyone in the Discord, can we please drop the fan clubs? I want to know what your real names are. I just didn't even realise who you were, Connor. So, but look, he's just he's exciting to watch, and I think we're hoping to see that development continue. I said it on Sunday night. I can't imagine that game, how it would have looked without him. He leads our team in just about every stat sometimes, and obviously with the exception of tackling, but he's a threat to the opposition. He puts them in 2 minds. Adele always talks about key indicators in terms of like the Dolphins, whether it was, the hammer, where he's going to be. I think with us, it's pretty much Lockie Galvin and Jareem Buller. They're the indicators. And look, he's just going to only get better and better. And just before I finish, I think I should mention this. Benji said something at the start of the press conference, and I think we should say it as well. On behalf of the 3 of us, just our shout out to the Richardson family. Obviously, his daughter, Georgia, apparently was in hospital, not in a good way. And I know Richo was in hospital the week before. So, on behalf of us, and I'm sure all the fans, we hope everyone's well in the family and everything gets well real soon.
Yeah, we love you. The Richo family. All right, moving on to the play rating. So you keep an eye out on the socials on when we're playing Sunday night. I'll drop how good is it? The good thing about the play rating. So normally peek behind the curtain, I do a form and I change the players and I send them to just to make sure I've got the right team list. I haven't had to do that because literally same team list. I might have to touch wood.
You only had to make, I think it was 3 changes from the first one for round 2, and then none for round 3 in a row.
And how good is that?
You're not going to have to make any for round 4 as things stand at the moment either.
Yeah. So from those ratings, if you can, rate every player out of 10 and give us your rant of the week. 2 winners numbers coming up for, it's good. It actually, would you believe some of the numbers are actually, a lot of the numbers are actually down on last week, but people, I don't know. Anyway, Dream Buller, 8.2. Our wingers, Sania Taruva, 8.7. And Skelton got 7.3. Maybe Skelton obviously maybe lost a few points for getting injured. Adam Dwayhe, 8.2. Stafford Toa, 7.0. In the halves, Lockie Galvin, 8.1. Jerome Luai, 7.9. The front rowers really rated highly in this one, 8.9 each for Bolle and May. Appy is the only one that snuck into the 9s, 9.0. Both back rowers, 7.7. So Fainu and Seyfarth, and 8.2 for Twoley at the lock position. Talon De Silva, an 8.3. And how many minutes did he play? 20-ish?
Who's this?
Talon.
Probably about 20-ish. Give or take a few minutes.
Royce Hunt, 7.5. Jack Bird, 7.8. Sione Fainu, 7.4. Guys, any of those inaccurate in your opinion?
I think they're quite accurate, to be fair. Even the lesser knowns, like you mentioned Sione, I thought his work was quality when he came on. He didn't go backwards. He provided a lot of punch, had a lot of good footwork. I mentioned one person who's not in my points this week. I'll probably get my head ripped off for not putting him there. Fanua Bolo, unbelievable. He had over 200 metres the other night. He's, as Adele says on our chats, his second stints always seem to be a lot better than his first ones. But I think the numbers are quite accurate. I will say one thing that might get me into more trouble, and it's going to be very contentious, and I'm only basing this on the last 2 games. I'm starting to think Dream Bull is the best player in our team. I think he's world class. I absolutely think he is world class.
Cool.
I do not see him missing a beat. In fact, I actually would have liked to have seen him get the ball more, and perhaps he wasn't getting the ball because he was, the defence was sort of watching where he was going. But I have the utmost confidence in him at the moment, and if he keeps this up, we've got a special fullback on our heads.
What state is he eligible for Blues?
Queensland, I think.
Queensland.
Yeah, Kebra Park, same school that Benji came from.
So who are Queensland's pretty well stocked for fullbacks.
Yeah, like they've got Ponga, they've got Walsh.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to need anyone beyond those 2 for the foreseeable future.
Should have converted him. Surely
You get rocks or diamonds with Walsh. You don't want Walsh.
Yeah. Well, that's good for us then. We don't want to play Origin selfishly. Keep
We
it
might
for our
already be
games.
losing a couple to Origin when that rolls around.
Any numbers surprise you, mate?
Yeah, what numbers?
I feel
I think they're pretty accurate myself.
I feel like most of them are fairly accurate. I'd probably rate Semweller a little bit higher. I think, obviously, again, not a lot of involvement throughout the entirety of the game, but he made a lot of big plays, big effort plays like that one I mentioned where he jolted the ball free from Bostock, which put us in the position to score the try, the safe half try. Otherwise, yeah, I think a lot of those are pretty good. Sione Fainu, I feel like is a little bit stiff to get rated that low. Toa and Skelton, I thought, were both very good. Obviously, Skelton's minutes were limited because he went off the field, but I think a lot of our listeners rate players down a little bit if they don't get as much time on the field, which is a little bit of a shame. But anyway, I'd probably rate those guys a little bit higher, but otherwise, I'm pretty content with all the other numbers there.
Yeah, Fainu's 7.7. I mean, if I got 77% of the test in high school, I was pretty satisfied with that. It's not like it's that low. Yeah.
Well, I don't think anyone was worse than a 7, and the lowest score is 7.
Yeah.
So that's pretty. I think it's a great
stuff
look at set of scores.
Team performance.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you to everyone who voted in that. So based on that 3-2-1 vote for the people, went to Api Koroisau 3, Fanua Bolo and May. There was 0.01 difference. So Pole got the 2 points by literally 0.01 or something like that. It was less than point because they both rounded up to 8.9. But in the back end, the fractions was slightly. So he gets the 2 there. What are your 3-2-1s as?
I feel like I should actually probably go backwards when I'm doing my 3-2-1. So start with the 1 and go up to the 3. So my 1 I gave to Lockie. I thought it was a brilliant game from him. A lot of big plays made like that, cutout ball, a lot of involvement in a lot of the tries. 2, I gave my 2 to Appy. I thought Appy was sensational, particularly in his second stint. Obviously, his first stint left a little bit to be desired, as Adele was kind enough to point out on Sunday. But overall, I thought he had a very good game too. Obviously, massive hand in those final 2 tries that won us the game from 18 all. And this was completely and entirely coincidental the night that the Fanua Pole fan club is here. Fanua Pole ended up getting my 3.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
I thought it was his best game of the season so far. I thought he was brilliant. Like Rob said, 200 plus meters, massive involvement, runs off the back fence, gave us a lot of the momentum. And he's been a little bit, he's gone a little bit under the radar the last few weeks, considering the efforts that we've got from Terrell May. And I'm just really impressed with what I saw from him. So I gave him my 3.
Gussie's joined us in the
G'day, Gussie.
chat. Good on you, Gus. What are your 3-2-1s?
I'll do it the same way as Mr. Thompson did. So I'll start with my 1, and this is probably the most contentious one because I honestly believe, again, there were 7 or 8 players you could have had in your 3-2-1s. I put Samuel Afenu simply because he changed the game. His meters weren't huge, like it was 72 meters, 28 tackles. But when the game needed to be won, when someone said, we're not lying down today. I've got to make a play for my team to get us over the line. That one hit turned the game. I keep using this phrase, he imposed his will, but he did impose his will. We got the turnover. We needed those sort of moments in the game. Adam Dewey provided a couple of those too with some when he got moved to the wing, and I don't think he's played wing since he was with South Sydney. Terrell Mayers, Aaron mentioned, Appy had a magnificent last 20 minutes. There's so many good players. My 2 points, who probably could have got some last week, was Taruva, 148 metres, 2 line breaks, 1 try. Look, his finishing's terrific. He's got now 5 tries in 2 weeks. His carries out of our end, most of the time he lands on his stomach. He always gets a quick play the ball. And as I said earlier, we know now we've got a gun right-hand side attack with that Galvin, Toa, Taruva who can finish. I had to give him points because he didn't miss a beat, whether it was under a high ball, whether it was a run, whether it was finishing. He was fantastic. And my 3 points went to Lockie Galvin, 140 metres, 3 offloads, 12 tackles. What I'm loving about Lockie is the combination he is working with Luai. There's no one's dominating, no one's hogging. Luai is meant to be the main man, but if you actually look at that game, Lockie had 62 touches to 50. In this win, so he touched the ball more than Lockie. And even in our previous game against Parramatta, he had 56 touches to 42. When Lockie's on, we win. He is one of our most important players. He's only going to get better. He's only 19 years of age. I know people always worry about, he's only a kid. He shouldn't be on this price tag or that price tag. Just put price tags aside. This kid is a great football player right now. And again, I just know when he's in our team, it's funny. It's coincidental because it's like Benji Marshall. When Benji was out of our team back in the day, you knew you weren't much of a chance of winning. When Benji was in the team, you knew you had a puncher's hope of winning. And that's how I feel about Lockie. When Lockie's in the team, I'm more confident about winning. When he's not there, I'm like, okay, who's going to create? Who's going to do this? But he's always asking questions of the opposition, and he's just a pleasure to watch. Like I said earlier, every week. So he got my 3. But again, there were so many good players. Buller was great. Dewey was great. Skelton was great. Luai's influence can't be understated. May was great. Bolle, best game of the year, as Aaron said. Seyfarth did his stuff. I still think he can improve. Twally was magnificent. Talon was magnificent. People were worried about Talon de Silva 3 weeks ago, and we kept saying, we know what this guy could do. Wait till the real thing starts, and you'll see the real Talon de Silva. Hunt wasn't as much as what he did last week against Parramatta. Jack Bird, sensational, but really happy to see Sione Fainu get some more minutes. So, again, wholehearted team performance, plenty to look forward to for Sunday. I'm going to do the right thing by the club and by the team and tip New Zealand because that's how we win. Mm-hmm. But in another world, I think we can do a good job on them.
Yeah, we'll get to the preview of that game in a second.
Just another thing that hasn't been brought up.
Sure, go for it.
Adam Dewey, how good is he going with the goal kicking at the moment? We haven't had a team that's been able to go up by 6s when scoring tries for quite some time. We've had a few games here and there where the trend has been bucked, but this season so far, Adam has missed, I think, 2 kicks at goal.
And one hit the post, and one was the first kick against Parramatta that he blocked way out to the right. That's literally his only bad kick all year.
I think it's like 13 or 14 attempts so far, and he's only missed 2. So the goal kicking is really important, and that's going to come in handy later on down the line this season, I am sure.
And it takes pressure off Appy's legs as well, not having a goal kick because he'd be the regular goal kicker.
That was crazy making him do it. Righto, getting on to your best rants this week. Dale said, one thing all class teams have in common, they find ways to win games that they have no right to win. No Tigers team from the last 5 years wins that game and probably lose it by 20. With so much improvement still to come, it feels like a winning record is possible. Well, we have a winning record right now. We might go to 3-1. So, yeah, absolutely. Dale, Derek Derrickson. Righto, he's got another poem for us. Appy led, the Tigers fought. Another win just like we thought. Attack was fire, sharp and free. But scramble D, that's the key. Polly hit hard, but 12 stood tall. Rallied the boys, led them all. Sang our song, loud and proud. 2 from 3, we've got the crowd. No more fins, no more doubt. It's claws out. What do you reckon, guys?
Good effort. Not as good as last week.
Yeah, last week was probably better, but it's still...
The sequel's
Great
not always
effort.
as good as the original, but this,
Yeah.
this was still
But
very
That's
good.
Actually, I
pretty
watched-
spot on.
I watched Jaws too. Like a personal joke from the Discord. I actually watched while I was doing this last night. Shouts to was it Riff the start of the Jaws? Who was the Jaws joke?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I saw Jaws
oh,
too
that
for
was,
the first time last
Was
night.
that Shane? Was that the Hoff?
I think it was Shane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Personal Discord joke. Brandon W says apologies about the microphone during the live stream. It was great to have him with us on Saturday. That was just pure relief in the second half when Appy scored. This is what football is about. Whatever Benji said, the halftime speech worked to perfection, and we had an almighty comeback for the ages.
And thanks for the literally 12 to 14 people that came and watched the game with us the other day. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
including
awesome.
a whole bunch of guys from the Discord that we got to meet.
Yep.
Broncos game even bigger. Come watch. What night of the week's the Broncos game?
Saturday
night. Saturday night. Can't beat it. Saturday night, the OG. Come join us. Zach said most important thing to come out of this game was the claw. Great to see the new signings already having an impact and building a culture. On to the winners of the $20 voucher. So if you come join us at the OG, $20 for you. And I've covered them up with the freaking graphics. 10s for everyone, not for a laugh, but for can't see it. Determination to grab that game and all our. We don't win that last year or years prior. There is a difference in this club, this squad. They worked. This was Jared Hunt, by the way. I don't think I said Jared's name earlier. They worked their plan in the second half perfectly. We are grinding our way back into this, and that's what they did. Grabbed the Dolphins by the balls and said, "You're coming down here with us until you're buried at our feet." I love this team. Nothing is better than being a Tigers fan. Appy is God, Emperor of mankind. Who picked Jared?
Yeah.
That was Roberto's winner. Good on you, Jared. So slide into our DMs, Jared, and I will tell you how to come collect your $20 voucher. All right, because you picked an essay by Jack for the winner, you can read it.
At least you've done me a solid and superimposed the pictures on the back of this one. So this is from Jack. 2 more wins and I'm cancelling my September plans. If you beat Dolphins away, Warriors at home, and then Brisbane away, you're a top 8 side, end of. I've tried to be restrained and realistic, but we actually have no idea where the ceiling is for this side. Almost every week for 2.5 years, I've thought we've seen the best of Appy, and almost every week he seems to go out there and raise the bar again. Freak. To sit down Gilbert on that last try too, perfect. If you don't rate Luai's impact so far this year, you don't get footy. He's only had one wow moment in attack, which was Taruva's first try this week, where he made something from nothing, but his intangibles are unmatched. Some of the defensive reads, pressures have been elite. Also really like how calm we look in the huddle. Taruva and Luai getting the boys to focus on breathing and calming down seems like a small thing, but it's making a world of difference. I think the main reason I picked this one is because of that little bit there about Luai's impact. I noticed a lot of people on Twitter from like fans of other clubs who are just trying to poke shit at the team. They're all saying things like, "Oh, Luai, you're $1.2 million man. He's doing nothing. He's making no impact." But I mean, there's no such thing as no impact, especially when it comes to off field. His off field impact is insane. His on field impact, well, he's not setting up the tries or scoring them at the moment. What he's doing in defense, what he's doing taking the pressure off Lockie, that is unquantifiable, and that's the impact that we're seeing from him so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone say that.
There's been plenty of it.
Few.
And like the first break that was made against us this year, Josh, was the Newcastle game, and the first bloke that chased was Luai, and he saved a try. And ever since that, we've seen a whole heap of other blokes from our team save tries, run amazing chases like Royce Hunt did against Parramatta. So he's setting the standard on the field and off the field. You guys just mentioned that eat out with the boys. Like, he's there with them. He's the captain. He's leading off the field and on the field.
Helen Keller could see all those things that you just pointed out. Moving on to Sunday evening's game. So we'll be heading out to Campbelltown Stadium for this one. Join us outside the gates. We'll have the little mini mic, and we'll do another post-game little rant for the socials and the YouTube channel. So come, hopefully. We've only done one this year. We haven't won at home yet. So we haven't had a chance to do one after a win yet. We did one after a loss, and everyone was a bit cranky, including Shane, who came on as well. But man, be nice to walk away 3-1 and have some happy West Tigers fans coming up to us and telling us what they thought.
How good was it that we went into the night at the end of the game that night in second place on the ladder? I mean, we've been pushed out of fourth now, but for nearly 24 hours,
last game.
We were second. That was so good.
But we're tied 11th. We're tied second. We're tied 11th. There's 9 teams on 2.
It's not the end of the world if we lose this week, but if we win, this launches us. Because we do have a little bit of a tough draw coming up. This really launches us. We want to stay ahead of that 50% mark. And if we're 3-1, then not that we want to lose games. You can almost afford to lose a couple of games and still be in the hunt. But if you get to 3-1 and then start winning every second game, you know, you're going to be 2 wins more than losses. So it's an extremely important game this week, and it's a very winnable game. And I just hope everyone gets out there to support the boys. They deserve it.
You also look at the team we're playing this week in the Warriors, the fact that they're on the same points as us, the same record as us. If they beat us this week, they get 2 points from the game, and they're also guaranteed 2 points next week because they've got the bye. So, like, that's a 4-point buffer that they can potentially put on us if we lose this and we lose to Brisbane. So it's important, especially when the table is so clustered with so many teams on 4 points at the moment, to try and stay ahead of the curve.
They've only won at home, though, haven't they?
Yes.
They haven't won away yet, whereas we haven't won at home.
They haven't played in Australia yet. Yeah. That's a big factor for this game.
The teams that you expect to lose to, like your Penriths, like your Melbournes, maybe to a lesser degree like your Brisbanes.
And
Cronulla, maybe. You don't want to lose to anyone, but if you lose to those teams, you can cop it. It's 2 points. But when you're losing to a New Zealand or a Canterbury or a Newcastle, someone that's vying for a top 8 spot like us, that's worth 4 points. Like, those games are just doubly important to win, as opposed to if we lose to Melbourne, most teams are losing to Melbourne. It's almost like having the bye in reverse. But the guys that we're competing with for the 8, they're 4-point games, and this is a team that is competing for the 8. We need to beat these guys. It's a 4-point turnaround if we win.
All right, run us through the back lines, Az.
All right, so starting with the Tigers, our fullback is Jareem Buller, Sinia Taruva and Gerald Skelton are on the wings, Adam Dewey and Stafford Toa in the centres, with Lachlan Galvin and Jerome Luai in the halves. For the Warriors, Chance Nickel-Klukstar is their fullback, with Tane Tuapiki and Adam Pompey on the wings. Adam has been moved from the centres to the wings to replace Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Rocco Barry has come into the centres for that vacancy, and Ali Leotawa is the other centre. Chanel Harris-Tavita and Luke Metcalf are their halves.
Rob, thoughts on this matchup in the back line?
Just concerned that Skelton might not play, given he, really hobbled off quite badly. And if it is a hamstring, I'm surprised if a hamstring, you can back up that quickly. If he does, we're being told that Fata Ape will come into that left wing position, which is a concern, but he's just going to have to step up and do the job, and perhaps he'll interchange with Adam through the game in terms of who plays centre and who plays wing, because Adam seemed to know when to jam in properly in defence. Their back line, obviously they've lost Tuivasa-Sheck, which is a bit of a difference. They seem to have Pompey on the wing, who's normally playing in the centres. Can you scroll that up, Darren? Yeah, so we got Nickel-Klukstar there. He's a pretty solid player. I think their centres are a weakness defensively. They're great attackers, but they can easily be thrown off with a bit of shape. So I'd like to see us use a lot more shape this week, and if we execute correctly, I think we can score a number of tries against them.
Absolutely caught me off guard then. I've clicked off the right thing. Right, I bring up the forward pack as.
Starting forward pack, we've got Terrell May and Fanua Pole are our props, with Api Koroisau at hooker, Samuela Fainu and Alex Seyfarth in the second row, with Alex Twal at lock. For the Warriors, their captain James Fisher-Harris and Mitchell Barnett are the front rowers, with Wade Egan at hooker. Kurt Capewell and Marata Gray are in the second row, with Aaron Clark at lock.
All right, thoughts on the 4 packs, Rob?
Individually, it's a fantastic forward pack. I don't think they've hit their straps yet, guys. I wasn't impressed with them last week against the Roosters. I said it on Sunday night. I think the Roosters lost that game. The Warriors didn't win it. The Roosters seemed to treat them with contempt. They were making good yardage up the middle, so I'd expect to do the same. They have got really dangerous back rowers in Niokore and Capewell, so Seyfarth's going to have his handfuls with Capewell, but I think, we've got to watch Egan out of dummy half as well. If our markers are as lazy as they were in the first half, against the Dolphins, and we saw what Marshall King could do, then Egan could have that same effect. But again, if we show up, if we show what we've shown in 240 minutes of NRL competition this year, win or lose, I think we're all right. I think we're a big shot of winning this.
Yeah, not too much to add. I'm a little bit concerned about the offload game from the Warriors. They've got a pretty big forward pack. Like, you look at their front rowers, Fisher Harris, Mitch Barnett. Fisher Harris, New Zealand representative, 4-time premiership winner. Mitch Barnett played Origin last year for New South Wales. Really, really big boys there that they've got leading the way. If they're able to get Wade Egan on the front foot, then we could be in a little bit of trouble there. And then obviously Kurt Capewell and Murata near Corey have a really solid offload game too. Yeah, I think our forward pack just have to be really, really careful with these guys. If we can out-meter them, I think that goes a long way to us winning the game, because if we can get our hooker on the front foot more than they can get theirs, I think that puts us in the best position for this one.
So I've got our Sunday night Tom Brady, Adele, who has sent us his tip sheet for the Warriors game. So just basically as a team, he said we need to play the game in the middle of the field, keep the ball in play as much as possible, and try and complete over 85%. In attack, play all shape around our number 9, use runners back against the grain, spot Egan. So we really need to target Wade Egan. Yardage sets, keep targeting Wade Egan, kicking the ball to Tuapiki, occasionally run the ball on tackle 5. When we shift on shape, time both back rowers at their halves. Offloads are gold, be selective but aggressive. And in defence, gosh, I wish I had $1 for every time you mentioned Wade Egan. In defence, Egan is the focus. Marker pressure allowed in good ball. A defenders tight, no offloads. Kicking games are weak. Appy, Talon and Twal to put high kick pressure. Centres be aggressive in defence. No slide. Jam and stick.
All right. So put some money on Wade Egan to score a try, I guess. Righto, run us through.
Thanks for that, Adele.
The benches for each team.
All right. So our bench is Talon De Silva, Royce Hunt, Jack Bird, and Sione Fainu. For the Warriors, Dylan Walker was
He's not going to be there.
But he's not going to be there.
Who's not going to be there, sorry?
Dylan Walker's been, he's moved to Parramatta as of today. He got transferred.
Oh.
I was getting to it.
He asked me. Okay.
Yeah. I missed it. Yeah, here it is.
So, yeah, Dylan Walker has been named but will not be playing this game because, yes, he's at a different club now. Jackson Ford, Dimitri Viamalga, and Lika Halasima.
So who do you think will come in from their extended bench? Martin?
Murray Martin would be.
It's official or we don't know?
It's not official. It won't be official until 6:15 on Saturday night. So,
okay.
Have you got our reserves?
Former Tiger.
Have you got the reserves up on the screen already, Josh? Yep. So our 18th man is Latu Fainu. Our other reserves are Heath Mason, Kit Lauli'i, Tony Suka, and Solomona Fa'atape. 18th man for New Zealand and likely replacement for Dylan Walker is Tamare Martin. Their other reserves are Jacob Laban, Samuel Healy, Bunty Afoa, and Edward Cozzy.
All right. Yeah, bench rotation. Do you expect much the same this week, Rob?
Depends if we're starting with Fa'atape or not. And if, I'm hoping Blackbird doesn't come into the starting side and Adam gets shifted to wing, but I'm loving our bench. I love the impact they create. I think it would be unwise of Benji to muck around with that bench. So I'd leave that bench as it is. And if he wants to dig into someone else coming in, go from players 19 to 22 and work it out from there.
Yeah, previous years we were kind of counting down, waiting for Steph or someone to come back on. But now it's just like, get Royce on, get him on there because it's, what a time to be a Tigers fan. Moving on to other grades. So, no, wrong slide there. We'll do that after we do our tips for the week. So for everyone asking in the chat, no, Rob did officially tip the Warriors. That's, again, emotional
That's
hedging.
superstition. That's all it is.
Emotional hedging. Panthers are playing, can you bring out the draw, while you're there? Who are the Panthers playing?
South are playing the Panthers.
South. Is that pretty straightforward? Panthers, Rabbitohs, I mean...
Cleary out, new halfback again. They've dropped
Dylan Walker out as well.
Dylan Walker?
Dylan Walker?
No, not Dylan Walker. Dylan Edwards. The other Dylan.
Walker's on. All right, yeah. Where are they playing that one?
Acor.
Acor. Good old Acor.
Acor.
We're at Acor. Okay.
First game at Acor for the year as well.
Be sure to roll my windows
racetrack.
up when I'm driving home tomorrow.
It's winnable
Before
for
the
South.
fun
They haven't been impressive, but it could happen. It'd be nice to see Penrith 1 and 3.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Especially
if we go 3-1, we put some gap on them.
Chookies
Definitely.
are playing Friday 6. Chookies got Friday 6 p.m. That doesn't seem to happen very often. Allianz Stadium.
Last week too.
Did they?
Yeah, New Zealand.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. We've all tipped them against the Titans, but this is a tough one. Titans are better than the.
They played well the other night.
Yeah.
I just think the Roosters hold the ball, they win.
Yeah.
They just treated the ball with no respect the other night.
Yeah, they're at home. It's purely I've just gone. They're at home, so.
Yeah, we saw the Titans away in round 1 in Belmore, so obviously another Sydney game for them this week. They didn't look as good in Sydney, so I don't think I can tip them away until they prove that they can win away. So I've gone with the Roosters, like literally just because it's a home game.
Emmanuel's asking in the chat, last time Penrith lost 3 in a row. I can look that up if you want, but Broncos...
It's got to be 2019.
It'll be 2019.
It'll be 2019, but we can check.
Broncos are playing the Finns, and we've all gone to Broncos. Where's that one at? Suncorp. They're playing the Broncos. The Broncos they get to play an away game at Suncorp. Well done.
Yeah, they do in Magic Round too.
Yeah. So they play 14 games at Suncorp out of 24.
Yep.
Oh, God, I hate them. But we've all tipped them. And thoughts on this game, guys?
Yeah, I think Brisbane's forwards are probably going to be a bit too strong for a one-dimensional Dolphins pack.
How bloody good was Haas last week?
Haas was incredible.
Freakish.
He's the best prop in the game.
And he's November 1 available, isn't he, this year, Payne Haas?
He's what, sorry?
Gus, I was listening to Gus Gould's podcast.
He's a New South Welshman.
No, November 1. He's 20. He's
only
got
on
one more
contract?
year in his deal, yeah.
But what do you pay a prop? Like, I mean, props don't seem to get 7 digits, but if anyone's going to get $1 million, it'd be him.
He's pretty. I don't know. I think
He's amazing.
worth it. He's a game changer. You pay that money for game changers.
Yeah,
the last time Penrith lost 3 in a row. Scrolling. Still going. 22. Nope. 21. Nope. 2020. Nope.
Definitely
2019. Yeah, they won. They lost 6 in a row in 2019. And we were one of them when we beat them.
we thrashed them up in Brisbane.
Magic round.
Yeah, that was a fun. That was the debut of Magic Round, and what a great way for us to kick
That
off.
was probably Moses Mbai's best game for our club ever. And I remember we carved him up. Robbie had a great game that night too.
It was like 22 points in the first 20 minutes or something.
Yeah. We killed him.
They lost 3 in a row later that year too. They lost to Bronx, Cowboys, and Chooks as
I
well.
think they finished with 10 or 11 wins for that season. So, and they weren't that far behind
Isn't
us.
that crazy? The dynasty, they've gone from
5 grand finals in a row they've made.
Yeah.
Lost 1, won 4.
fingers crossed.
Share it around, guys. Give it to someone else this year.
Yeah, or not. Well, Jerome Luai just carried on. What's the next game?
North Queensland and Canberra in North Queensland. 5:30.
Yeah, tough one.
5:30 our time, 4:30 their time.
You've missed a game. Dragon Storm.
We did? Oh, I missed a game.
Storm.
My bad.
Moving on.
Put your house on the Dragons then.
Well, Storm are missing a few people, aren't they?
They're missing Jerome Hughes, but
Yeah.
Tyrone Wishart comes in a halfback. I don't think they're missing much more than that. Saints might have a change or two because they lost a couple of players against South during the game, but I haven't checked their team and I don't care about their team.
There's also a question mark around Pappenhausen, as well as they've also lost Nick Meaney with the fractured
Yeah.
bone or whatever it was. So,
Well, they'll bring in Farlongo, whatever his name is.
which is still a very good replacement.
It's a great replacement.
They've got great replacements pretty much every position available.
They do.
Carla's joined us on the stream. She said, you guys are still live. Amazing. Yes, we haven't been cancelled yet.
Because we were dead for about 15 minutes. Thanks. Connor just said 87% completion rate, which is fair enough.
We've all gone Sharkies against.
We've missed the Cowboys and Raiders.
Sorry, we all. As has gone Raiders, we've gone Cows.
Yeah, I think it's a hard game.
Yeah, I've just gone home team.
And I only went the Cowboys because I don't think I've seen a team have to do so much tackling in 1 week as Canberra did against Manly last week. They had 20-something% of the ball. Aaron, can you remember the stats? It was like 77-23. Yeah, it was crazy. But that could go anyway. The Cowboys aren't impressive.
it was a really even game, the game between the Raiders and Manly until Corey Horsburgh went to the sin bin. And from there, Manly just...
It was an avalanche.
Yeah, put the foot down and curb stomped them, thanks to Ethan Bullimore and Ruben Garrick pretty much. But I've gone the Raiders. I think Ricky Stewart shoves a rocket up their asses this week and he will get a response from them. I'm not convinced by the Cowboys yet. I need to see pretty much all the teams that are winless at the moment. I need to see them win before I can start tipping them. I'll only come to a problem if they play each other when they're winless, and then that's a decision I'll have to face then. But yeah, as it stands, the Cowboys, I don't think I can trust them yet. So I'm going with the Raiders, who have proved that they are able to win games this season.
Emmanuel in the chat's asking, last time we won 3 in a row. So that was
round 4, 5, and 6, 2018.
Oh, his stats man's onto it. Who we beat?
We beat Para in round 4.
Yeah.
We beat the Storm in round 5 with a field goal, and we beat Manly. We actually crushed Manly.
You're a freak.
At Manly in round 6.
And what were the scores and how many people attended all 3 games?
Do you know the scores? Can you do?
I can try. Okay. No. I'm not gonna have any hope with the crowds, but the scores. Para, I think we beat them 30-20.
Yeah.
The Storm was 11-10.
Yeah.
And Manly, I think, the late Jacob Little penalty try, I think that might have made it 36 to 12 or 14.
Oh, if you got all 3 right, mate, you win a $20 voucher for the OG, mate.
38 to 12. Get that, man. Get that.
Well done.
Something.
That's the mad talent that I possess.
Yeah, superpower. Sharkies, we've all gone Sharkies against who? Doggies.
Dogs, yeah.
The undefeated Doggies too. That's a hard game.
Yeah, it's tough.
The only team that are 3-0. Well, I mean, they and the Storm are both on 6 points, but the Storm have only played 2 and they've had a bye. So
no easy games in the NRL, boys.
It feels really strange tipping against the Bulldogs, but the Sharks just put on a bit of a clinic at Shark Park, and I kind of think they'll do it again. And the Dogs, their opponents haven't been as crash hot as the Sharks are expected to be. So I think this is potentially game of the round. This should be an absolute cracker.
I got no confidence, but I just went the Sharks because they were at home. And obviously Canterbury are missing Burton and Kickout still.
With Reggie the Rabbit had a punch on at Shark Park last week. The Bulldogs head in there.
Yeah, he apologised to someone 190's age apparently today.
I don't understand why Reggie goes to all of the Rabbits games.
That's a good point.
I'm pretty sure mascots are only supposed to go to their team's home games. Like, I don't see any other mascots at any other away games.
Have you ever heard a Prime Minister defend a mascot before? He defended him yesterday. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Is that true?
They confirmed he won't do away games.
Oh, he won't do away games? Fair enough.
About time.
So I'm sick of Souths just they think they're just above everyone. That's what, God, I hate them. What are we up to?
Here we go again. Manly and Para.
Manly, Para. We've all gone Manly. Para suck.
I can't believe Para have been...
What are they paying Parramatta?
About $6.
Not enough.
Yeah, I can't believe Para have been given all 4 Sunday 4 o'clock games so far. Like, they're the darlings of Channel 9 Sunday afternoon footy at the moment. But
it's not helping them.
They've been absolutely garbage. So,
to be fair, it's fun watching them lose.
I mean, yeah, it is fun watching them lose, and I'm enjoying seeing them in last. But
Dylan Brown's not going well either. Like, they're just in a world of hurt.
Can the Knights afford him?
No, they can't. They'd have to release players if they're going to take him on that sort of money. They probably have to release 4 players.
Yeah, but they don't have to pay him 1 point whatever now. They could just take him or whatever he's willing to take. Yeah.
Still, you got to make some room.
What are the Eels paying him this year? The Knights might just take
no clue.
Yeah.
He's got to be on about 800 at the Eels.
7 to 8, I'd say.
The Knights probably don't have that. Yeah. I don't know. Does he just say, I'll cop 200K this year? Nah, why would you? Why would he cop it that much money? But yeah, dire straits of the Eels. You'd think it's going to get to the point where Eels are just letting guys left, right, and centre walk.
They've already done that, mate. they've let go of Gutherson and Sevo and Campbell Gillard and plenty of others.
Another rebuild decade for the and so good that they didn't win that grand final against Penrith. My entire life, they still haven't won a grand final. I turned 30. What am I? 37. On to we didn't do our own game. Yeah, as I said,
go to Aaron for that one. I don't want to talk about that.
We've tipped the Tigers because we're homers,
and you rightfully should.
Rob's superstitious.
I mean, I see a lot of fans do tipping videos on YouTube, and a lot of them never tip against their own team that they support, even if the odds are entirely stacked against them. We on this podcast have been known to tip against our team when we know that we are no shot, but a lot of the time we do try to find the positives. We do try and find the way that we can win. I do think we've got a really good chance of winning this game. The Warriors have only played one game out of New Zealand so far. That was in round 1 in Vegas, where they got absolutely shellacked by the Raiders. So it waits to be seen how they go traveling to Australia for the first time this season. And Campbelltown is a tough trip, like going into Sydney from New Zealand and then going from Sydney out to Campbelltown. It's a pretty tough away trip. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. I think this game really comes down to which team is able to get the best out of their dummy halves. And if we can get Appy on the front foot more than they can get Egan on the front foot, then I really think that will go a long way to us winning. So I'm backing us in.
Well, I think the team that has the most points at the end of the game has the best chance of winning.
That's also one way to look at it.
I'll probably tip, no matter what happens in this game, I'll probably tip Broncos next week, but I think we should beat.
I might tip them next week. It'll depend on how we go this week and how they go this week and any injuries to come out. But I mean, it's one of those games that could go either way. But we'll get to that next week.
Tough trip to what day of the week is the Broncos game?
Saturday.
You asked the question before.
You asked that before. 7:30.
7:30. Yeah, Saturday 7:30.
It's a 6-day turnaround again to go to Brisbane.
They get an 8-day turnaround and stay at home.
Thank you, NRL. Around the grounds or around to other grades, the Magpies. Did you guys see this game? I tuned in right at the right time.
I didn't see the game.
Tristan Hope, my God, he's scored 4 meat pies. We're down 24-6.
24-4.
24-4, yeah, with 25 minutes to go or something, and they've gone bang, 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 bang.
Good on them.
And won by
Josh
8.
Felity. So there was one of the Tristan Hope tries, and then the Josh Felity try, and then
Tristan's got 4
last 3
total.
tries came in a 7-minute stretch.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. So good on the Maggies getting the win there at Lidcombe, and they're
relegating the Bears to last.
Well, there you go.
The Bears had no hope.
They are playing before first grade this week. There you go. So the Magpies.
There's the dad joke.
4 o'clock. You want to get there for the Magpies? 3:55.
I will. Yeah,
Sunday.
We've actually got a game before our first grade game for a change. How good!
I'd love to get there to watch that game.
Yeah, no, I'll be there.
Righto. Moving on to Harold Matts. Magpies got beaten by the Eels 24-10. Balmain got beaten by the Wars 2-12. Magpies have the bye this week, and the Tigers are heading to Necknock in the Hunter Valley. That's local for Cessnock, for those who don't know. SG Ball, Tigers lost to the Chooks in SG Ball, and Eels beat the Maggies in both grades. Their Magpies are playing Manly in SG Ball at Sydney Institute of Sport, wherever that is, and Sharks, Tigers playing Sharks at Sharks Stadium. They don't have a sponsor anymore, Shark Stadium.
Maybe
Because they've had a few.
Maybe they deal with points.
Remember Caltex Field? You wouldn't remember. It was Toyota Park for a while.
It's called Shark Stadium right now.
Yeah.
Can't
even get a sponsor for the stadium at the moment. It was Toyota. It was Caltex for a while. What else have they had?
Oh, it used to be Endeavour Field back in the day.
I think
that was the original name.
I think that's what
just call it the fish pond there, no bite.
It's like saying Graham Park for Gosford. Moving on, enough talking about Cronulla. Gale, they lost to the Eels. Man, the Eels, they beat us in every other freaking grade, 20-10. They are playing the Bears at Leichhardt this week. Lisa Fiola, I've stuffed up Lisa Fiola.
Yeah.
Bring up the score for me.
Trying to.
They are playing the Bears as well, and that is at Leichhardt Oval. I know where that is. It's about.
Where is it?
It's not there.
It's not there.
How far is Leichhardt Oval from here? 900 meters?
Here?
Google it for me, Nens. How far from this spot? How many meters are we from Leichhardt Oval here?
No, I'm going to say to the Mary Street gates, probably about 1.6 kilometres.
Nah, can't be that far.
1.2 would be my guess.
1.2? I reckon 900. 900.
Yeah, but that's in a straight line.
That.
That's in a straight line.
I know.
You're going through Callan Park and all that. We're not going there.
Okay, hang on.
900 meters. So 900 meters, 900 meters. That's 1.8.
Is that walking? is that crow flies or walking?
There you go.
I know my Lilyfield rectangle.
You gonna leave me hanging? Okay.
Ladder positions for both of the girls' teams, they're both in 5th, which I think qualifies them for finals if they can hang around there.
Go on, girls. Speaking of which, the Laurie Daly Cup boys have beaten the Bulldogs to make the grand final on Saturday. They're playing the Dragons in Canberra. So good luck to those boys. The Andrew Johns Cup boys, they lost their semi-20 to the Knights. So unfortunately, not both teams, but we got one team through to the grand final there. And Paddy Richards' son, I believe, is playing in that grand final as well.
Nice.
So good luck to those guys on Saturday at 1:15. And moving on to Statsman, what have you got for us?
I'm just going to have to quickly pull
All
this
right.
up because I
Sorry, I
sent it
caught
to
you off guard
guys.
there.
You got any of those comments in the Discord, whatever they are?
Discord comments?
The weekly, whatever they say.
And that's Az's job
Yeah,
That's
as
Az's
well.
job. Okay, you got them ready?
I've got
Yeah.
it already. As
All right,
well.
got his
good.
Statsman
Good
ready
man.
to go.
So I wanted to look at the last time the Warriors and the Tigers played against each other when both teams were in the top 8. Goes all the way back to round 2, 2019. We were both in the top 8 because we both had round 1 wins that year. I don't remember off the top of my head who we beat, but the Warriors beat the Dogs, and they were first on the ladder. We were third. We actually ended up winning this game, which coincidentally was our last win against the Warriors.
Yeah.
This game in round 2, 2019 was also at Campbelltown. We beat them, and it pushed us up to first on the ladder. And to this day, it's the only time in the history of the men's team that the West Tigers have finished around in first on the ladder. And just then to add on to that, our girls' team smashed that record out of the park in their first ever game.
Against Para.
Yeah, smashed Parramatta in round 1 to finish their first ever round in the history of their NRLW license on top of the ladder. And then they backed it up in round 2, beating the Sharks and staying in first. So
Can you name the coach of that day?
the coach of the
women?
We know
against
him.
Parramatta?
We know him.
against
He does a
Parramatta.
podcast on Sunday night.
Oh, it was Adele.
It was Adele.
But yeah, so our girls team in a much shorter amount of time have spent more time in first on the ladder than our men's team have, which is quite something.
Gotta love it when the girls are on top. Righto. Patreon.com/Westlife. Top of the ladder. Get your mind out of the gutter, guys. Patreon.com/Westlife. Help us. Support the show. Support the new mics, new mixer. Hopefully, might have to invest in some internet or something. I think we're going all right now. But what have the guys got for us? Are they feeling themselves this week, as kids say?
So we start with, what's the date today? 26. So Gussie, good old Gussie said, epic work this year, lads. Loving the extra content forms. Post-game fan videos are fire. The Sunday chats with Adele are a game changer, and the live game day streams add an extra level of excitement to matches. Looking forward to purchasing some West Tigers Life merchandise. Massive love, great Tiger humans. Looking forward to seeing everyone on Sunday.
Our PR man, Gussie.
Absolute legend of a man he is. Shane, our Hall of Famer in the Discord.
He just sent us $10 on the super chat too.
Says, I know I've said it before, but we need another Dull House Sunday. I think it will go close.
Full house. He meant to say full house.
Full House Sunday.
Full house.
I think it will go close.
the Tanner
Cambo
family.
always attracts a fair amount of Warriors supporters. See you guys out there. Maggie's play prior. Finally, a bit more value on those $60 seats. And Ben says, last week's win felt like a 2010-11 win. We just seem to have the class to win the game, even being 12 points behind. What do you all think?
We've definitely got a lot of class in the team.
Shane sent us $10. He said, love you guys. I implore everyone, get out there on Sunday. If you're tossing up, get online now and get tickets. There are still great seats, 2 games. Come for a beer next door prior. Let's sell it out. And yep, we'll see you there on Sunday. Arvo, Shane, what do you prefer? I think now I prefer, we always call for Sunday Arvo games. I think I like Saturday night games better now.
I'm going to love being here for the away games.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot of fun.
The Saturday here.
I got here really early with Shane. We had a great afternoon.
Back the winner in the slipper.
No, I don't bet horses.
Yeah, well, I did. Actually, no, I didn't. I backed the horse around second, but it was
Even though you said Caulfield Cup on Sunday night.
Did I say Caulfield Cup?
Yeah, you did.
That's funny.
Big horse racing. I'm more horsepower than horse racing. Righto, is that it for the Discord? That's
it from the
right.
Discord.
So that just about brings us.
We just had that question from Ben. Do you guys have any opinion on like comparing the way the team won to the way the 2010 and 11 teams went about their business?
I think the 2010 and 11 teams used to win with a lot more flair, and they were like a lot more, what's the word? They were smoother. They were just a machine. They were machine-like, and we'd win games easily. There weren't many games where we came from behind.
Scoring.
There were a few games we came from behind. I remember one against, I think it might have been Manly at Gosford,
SFS.
St. George at SFS. But most of the times, I think on that 9-win streak, we were leading most of those games.
In 2010.
In 2011, we had a 9-game winning streak.
Yeah.
But I think 2010 was the real opportunity. That was an opportunity play. We should have won the comp that year. We were clearly the best team, and we lost Todd Payton the week before the preliminary final. We should never have lost that first semi-final to the Roosters, who would have got knocked out had we won that day. There's just so many weird things that happened that year.
Thanks for bringing up those scars.
Yeah, thanks, boys. But so that was a good year. I'd rather be winning more games than losing. Yeah, we made the finals that year. Beggars can't be choosers anymore. We'll take making it now.
Finishing top 4. Yeah, 2011.
Considering missed out in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2011, I flew up to Townsville, and pretty sure it was the first game of the winning streak. Was the win in Townsville, because I don't think we're going that good.
Yeah, we were going badly. We had to win. We won our last 9 games of the minor premiership.
It was what a time to be alive.
Let's get back there, please.
Yeah, it feels like finally
it might happen.
I was 23 years old, much younger man.
If we win this week, there will be a lot more believers.
2011, I was 18.
There's still a lot of fans that are just hedging their bets a bit. They don't want to get too emotionally invested. But if we win this week, I think a lot of people are going to be, they're going to be believing a lot more.
Back on board.
Yep.
Thank you to the hundreds of you that joined us on the stream. Sorry to all the ones that were on Facebook and that conked out, but the YouTube guys, they stuck solid through that. If you're listening to this on audio, that would mean nothing to you, because I'm going to cut that out for the audio part. But yeah,
it never happened.
Sunday night, catch us at. We're going to work out what time of the night we'll get Adele.
Well, I haven't told you this yet, but you're going to get one of our friendly Patreon people to hold the light or hold a microphone or something. I'm going to bolt home after the game so I can get myself ready to speak to Adele.
Okay.
I think that might be the best thing, and you can just get us started at least, and maybe you can be in the car on the way home. I don't know. We'll work it out. We'll work something out.
Yep. I might need to get, what's the Elon Musk internet thing called? Little satellite. Help me out, Nunes. What's the Elon Musk? The satellite internet, the little white things. Someone in the comments will know. Okay. You're much smarter than me.
There's nothing better than a random question that the boys ask you and you don't answer. I love it when they ask me shit to make me look stupid.
It's a satellite internet thing that Elon Musk does.
Mate, I don't even know how a microphone works.
Thank you, Shane. Starlink.
What is it?
Starlink. Yeah.
Starling. We had a great Balmain player called Jeff Starling back in the 50 years ago.
Starlink. Is that part of the show? We're just talking shit.
He was the youngest international ever play for Australia. Then Kerry Bousset came along. There's a bit of trivia for you.
I'll tell you what I love, when you guys just go on these random tangents that I have no freaking clue what you're on about.
About 2 generations before you were born.
I'll explain what Starlink is when we get off air.
Jeff Starling, legend.
All right. Sunday night, we will chat to Adele. We'll also see you guys at the game, 8:30 next Wednesday. Please join us at the OG. We've got a full crowd. Yeah.
We've had a few people.
Our peoples.
Come in late.
We're up to all our Patreons are joining us. But yeah, even if you're not, if you're just a fan, come in. We've got the speaker happening. The microphones are working nicely.
We've had 2 technical experts show up for future reference, which is fantastic.
$18 burgers. The boys enjoying some nice cold beers. So join us next Wednesday, live from the Orange Grove Hotel. But we'll see you Sunday. And as always,
go the West Tigers.
Go the Tigers.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the West Tigers Life podcast. You can join us every Wednesday night live at 8:30 p.m. from the Orange Grove Hotel. A big thank you to Orange Grove Hotel for their support, as well as iChoice Home Loans. If you want to hear more from the West Tigers Life podcast, go to westtigers.com.au. That'll be our link tree, and you'll find links to all our social media, and you can sign up at our Patreon at patreon.com/westlife. Join us next time on West Tigers Life.